Welcome to a glorious Monday. This week we're going to be focusing on St. Francis. And so for today, I decided that I would actually sit in the pasture where my neighbor will be bringing some steer in the next couple of days. But since they're not here, I figured I could take over for a little bit. If you could see around, there's lots of grass ready for the steer to be chomping on. And there's this wonderful tree that they rub up against. Today's lesson is about solitude. And most of our lessons will be coming from this book called The Lessons of St. Francis: How to Bring Simplicity and Spirituality into Your Daily Life. I read from Solitude. Ponder a pond. On a still day, its surface is like a mirror, reflecting the blueness of the sky, the big billowy clouds, and the brilliance of the sun. Then, if your eyes penetrate the surface and look into the calm, motionless water, you can see clear down to the bottom, with its rocks and its pebbles. Occasionally, a fish or a frog will swim past in this beautiful, translucent pool. But things change when a pool is disturbed by a rock, or a bounding dog, or a group of active children. Sooner than you can say splash, the surface is agitated by ripples, drops, and waves, and the water under the surface is shot through with air bubbles and clouded with mud. In many ways, our lives are like ponds. When things are calm, you can see clear down to the bottom and detect the slightest movement and motion. But when things are unsettled, everything's murky and impenetrable. Unfortunately, few of us have lives that are still and serene, like a pond. For most of us, life is more like a kitchen blender. Its engine humming, its blades purring, and its motion making puree out of all the elements of our fast-paced, turbulent lives. Francis was no hermit. He lived a full and active life, surrounded by fellow friars or people in need. But Francis also knew the value of solitude, silence, and stillness. He sought these treasures whenever he could, and they gave his work in the world a grounded stability that made the investment worthwhile. Likewise, our lives will be fuller and more effective if we learn how to practice the quiet virtues of solitude, silence, and stillness. And so in this time of safer at home, it is a very good opportunity for us to practice solitude and silence and stillness and make that a part of our regular daily living. I think that we'll find that we can't live without it anymore. That even though we may not want to always be at home, we have learned significant spiritual disciplines. Silence, solitude, stillness. May your day be filled with grace and glory. Amen.